everyone get the prompt?
Yeah. You guys are good? All right. This meeting is called to order. I've lost my gavel. This is a meeting of the Lincoln Heights Neighborhood Council of Los Angeles, California. The date is Thursday, April 7th, 6:05 p.m. And with that, we'll go to roll call. Madam Secretary, roll call, please.
All right. Sarah Clendenning,
Present.
Ben Wadsworth,
Present.
Fernanda Sanchez present, Vincent Montalvo,
Present.
Nancy Soto, she will be late, Benny Madera,
Present.
Didier Delizer has excused absence, Joanna Iraeta,
Present.
Diana Tran,
Present.
Annalie Har,
Present.
Melanie Balomo Shiflet,
Here.
Diego Zapata,
Present.
Richard Ortiz,
Here.
Gil Arevalo,
Here.
Steve Lucero,
Here.
Selena Ortega,
Here.
Esmeralda Landeros.
Present.
We have quorum.
We have quorum. Excellent. Okay. And so, well, we're just going to go straight to the agenda here. Item number 2. Item number 3. Okay, so we did roll call. 3, non-agenda public comment. So if there's anybody from the public who has a comment about anything that's not on the agenda, you have 2 minutes to speak. Press *9 or raise your hand. Right? All right, Vince.
Correct. We have. Okay. Andy, if you can please state your name for the record.
Yeah, my name is Andy Schlachtenhaufen.
And I'm Liz Gardner. And we just kind of wanted to.
Wait, can we start now or?
Yes, you can start now.
Okay.
Okay, so we just kind of wanted to introduce ourselves. Sorry, we haven't before. We started the Lincoln Heights Trash Club. It was in July, I guess, of 2021. And we've been picking up trash. It was every Saturday, but now we're doing it every other Saturday. And just wanted to let you guys know what we've been up to and to spread the word if other folks are wanting to get involved. And yeah, it's been a good thing for us, just getting to know people in the community and kind of just getting the lay of the land and really just understanding how the LA sanitation process is working for us or not really working for us in a lot of ways we're realizing. So yeah, just
so if you want to follow us, it is Lincoln Heights. That's probably too bright, but maybe that'll read. I don't know. It's backwards. Anyway, it's Lincoln Heights TC.
Yeah.
So love to see you out there.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, guys. All right.
Sarah, I don't see no other public comment.
Let me just make another call. Yeah, any public comments? Anybody from the public? If you would like to comment on any item that's not on the agenda, just about anything in the world, press *9 or raise your hand, and you have 2 minutes to speak. Do it now. No? Oh, Tom Williams.
1 second. Tom, please state your name for the record.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Dr. Tom Williams, LA 32 Neighborhood Council Land Use and Development Committee, also Director Emeritus and a few other thousand things. Quite interested in what's happening in your Land Use Planning Committee regarding the CAST, that is the Cornfields Arroyo Seco plan, and what's being proposed within the area. Also, I'd like to find out how to get the minutes of meetings of the Land Use Planning Committee. So if you can give me any sort of background on that or a contact that I can make, I'll do everything by email. So that's all.
Okay, Tom.
Oh,
Thanks.
also, we're interested in Paradise Ridge because it's on our neighborhood boundary. But you guys have it, but we're interested in it. That's all.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I believe your president's part of the, oh, sorry, I shouldn't talk.
Okay.
I
Thank
will
you,
email
Tom.
you. All right. Thank you, Tom. Sorry, everyone. Okay, so any more public comments? Please raise your hand or press star 9. 2 minutes.
I don't see any more.
No? Okay, so we're going to move on to item number 4, community and board announcements. We'll start with, well, community announcements. Are there any community announcements? It's kind of a little different than general comment, but anybody from the community who has an announcement, you have 2 minutes to speak, press star 9 or raise your hand.
I don't see any.
Okay, board member announcements.
I just have one, just a reminder for the, I forgot what it was called, but it's the
Guaranteed income?
guaranteed income. Thank you, Sarah.
Mhm.
So you guys have until April, I believe the 13th is the last time to sign up for it. And I encourage people to sign. It's only 1,000 people they're going to pick. They're going to be getting $1,000 a month for 3 years. So, and the threshold for one person, I think, is $66,000. So I encourage people to just submit your application and cross your fingers.
Yeah, it's based off a census tract. I just want to throw that in real quick. It says neighborhoods, but it's not true. Census tract, so half of Lincoln Heights is not included in it because it's in the census tract with Montecito Heights. So if you have an issue with that, go email the county.
Yeah.
I have
Yeah,
a,
Gil?
yeah, Gil.
Yes, I was just wondering if that couple that came on, what area are they in? Could they be a possible board member?
Well, yeah, we'll make an announcement of vacancies later, but it was a fluke that they were on the screen with the other board members, I would
When I
say.
say that couple that was here talking about where do they live? Nobody asked them.
They're community members, but anybody on this meeting could be a board member if they live here. But yeah, all right. So any other community announcements?
I don't see any more.
I have an announcement. Tomorrow morning, 10:30 to 12:30 p.m. Lincoln Heights Neighborhood Council is going to be at Lincoln High School for the annual career fair / college fair event. We're gonna have a table out there. Feel free to stop by if you want to be part of it or whatever, I guess, right? Community, contact us. We're just gonna have information for the youth about futures. And then I want to make an announcement about the micro enterprise grant, City of LA COVID Recovery Micro Enterprise Grant. If you have a business with 5 or less employees, you're a micro enterprise. You're eligible for, well, if you were hit by COVID, you're eligible, if you have employees, for $15,000. And if you just have one person running it, $10,000. The deadline is April 14th. It's only been open for 2 weeks. Just go to ewdd.gov or whatever the website is, or on our, yeah, anyway, look it up.
We have Esmeralda Landeros.
Esmeralda.
I have an update with the Programs and Services Committee.
Wait till we get to the committee announcements.
Oh, I thought that's what we're doing. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, it's cool.
Okay.
So next, any other board member announcements?
I don't see any.
Okay, community announcements. I saw a hand up. No?
No community
Okay,
announcement.
so we're gonna move on to item number 5, government reports. Now, if there's anybody from the government or city agency who would like to speak, you have 2 minutes to speak to address the community. Please press star 9 or raise your hand.
We got Jose.
Jose?
Hi, thank you. My name is Jose Galdames with the Department of Neighbor Department. Just provided some updates for the board. So in regards to the Neighbor Council elections 2023, so I'll be reaching out with the outreach chairs and election chairs as well, just to get started in regards to strategizing and applying for the 2023 Neighbor Council elections. As a department, we just want to make sure that we get started earlier with neighbor councils so that they can start to plan out their outreach engagements, and also continuing on with their neighbor council awareness, outreach as well. So I'll be coordinating with the chairs and scheduling those sessions between April through June. Also, the department had a town hall along with the budget advocacy groups, budget reviews in the community impact statements town hall. Again, we just there were covered a lot of topics in regards to community impact statements, strategies, ways that other neighbor councils also in ways for neighbor council board members to keep up and track with council file motions, also things that are going on in the city in order to file a community impact statement in regards to those before the city council takes action. We do have the recording of the town hall available on empowerly.org workshops and trainings. You can find that on the navigation bar of the Empowerly page. There you'll also have access to the recordings for the Core Institute module sessions 1, 2, and 3. Also the other town hall, which was the legislative candidate forums workshop. And now with the latest was the community impact statements town hall. So again, the resources, documents as well that were provided are available on that site along with the recordings of the session. And we'll have the Q&A once available soon, and that'll be uploaded to that page as well. Another, just a reminder for NC funding deadlines. Again, just remember that May 20th is the final date to request event approval for the current fiscal year using current fiscal year funds. June 1st is the final date to submit check payment request using the current fiscal year funds. So that would also include MPGs. June 20th is the final day for any bank card transactions using the current fiscal year funds. So please keep those fiscal year deadlines in mind if the neighbor council is considering to approve any MPGs, or any other future events or expenses.
Cool. Thank you, Jose. All
Okay,
right,
our next present is Osvaldo Peña. Please state your name.
Ozzy.
Hey everyone, yes, Osvaldo Peña, but I also go by Ozzy, and I'm with the gas company, your gas utility, and I just wanted to take a brief moment just to introduce myself. So again, I am the public affairs manager for the area. Took over for Denise Campos, in case some of you all are familiar with that name, but. Again, anything related to gas utility, I will be your point of contact. I believe, Sarah, you have my contact information. And, you know, we'll come to the group for to inform of any kind of infrastructure projects. You know, I know we have one coming up, so I'll probably be coming to this group in the near future to provide a little bit more detail on a project and some of the construction impacts, but then also provide throughout the year information on, you know, what your local gas utility is doing in terms of sustainability, clean energy. This, you know, we're in a you know, we're definitely looking at ways to be more sustainable, and so I'd be happy to share that with you all as the time as that time comes. So, anyways, just wanted to introduce myself, and I will probably be coming back in the near future to talk about a project that's going to be coming up in the summer. So, that's it. Thank you very much. Appreciate your time.
Thank you,
Thank
Ozzy. All
We
right,
have Jessica Swan.
Jessica?
Good evening, everyone. Again, this is Jessica Swan. I am the Public Participation Specialist for the Department of Toxic Substances Control. I wanted to let you all know that we have rescheduled the DTSC process and public participation workshop, and that will be on April 27th. And you should all be receiving invitations this coming week.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay.
We got Cynthia Cruz.
Cynthia Cruz. Hey. Oh, her hand is.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me?
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay, hi. So Cynthia Cruz from Councilmember De Leon's office. I just have a couple of updates for you guys. First, this Saturday, April 9th, the Hollenbach Police Station off of First Street is going to be hosting a neighborhood watch training. That's this Saturday from, I believe, let me check the time really fast, from 9 a.m. to 11:30. So if anyone's interested in getting, some training or just more information of how to start your own neighborhood watch, that's going to be happening this Saturday. Sorry, it's actually from 8:45 to 11. So if you guys are early risers, that's something you guys can go check out this Saturday. We also have this weekend in El Sereno, we have our monthly bulky item bin for anyone that wants to come and drop off any bulky items. I can share the flyer with the board after the update. It's going to be in Rose Hills and in University Hills. Last month, we had our, I think, second monthly bulky item bin in Lincoln Heights, which was in off of Lincoln Park and Broadway. And so for this month in Lincoln Heights, because again, it's going to be a regular thing monthly, we don't have a set location. So if you guys have any recommendations of where we should place the roll-off bin, please let me know. Wherever you guys think it'll be more of service or, just better visibility or just whatever it may be easier for people to drop off stuff, let me know. For Lincoln Heights, it will be the following weekend, which is the third weekend of the month. And then another thing, upcoming event, Ascot Hills Kite Festival is coming up, which is April 30th. That's from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. We have a finalized flyer, so I'll also share that after my update. But it'll be a really neat event if you guys haven't come to Ascot Hills Kite Festival before. Free kites are passed until supplies last. There'll be music and other activities and community booths there. So I'll share the flyer, and if you guys are interested in having more information about that, let me know. And then we are working to have a food giveaway soon in Lincoln Heights, so stay tuned for that. And I also did want to mention again that I had shared the flyer with you guys before, but every first and third Thursday of the month, there's mobile showers by the park right off of Valley. So if you guys know anyone that, can also benefit from that, please spread the word. They're there every first and third Thursday of the month from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. And I think that's it. If you guys have any questions, let me know.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Cynthia. Cool. Thank you. Okay, so any other government announcements?
I don't see any government announcements, but Melanie has her hand up.
Oh, I see Nancy's in the attendee side, Vince. Oh, is she?
I'll bring her over. No,
Great.
I don't see
I
her.
already promoted her.
Oh, you've already, okay, cool. All right, so I see Melanie has her hand up. Melanie?
Thanks. One second, George, okay? If I have a question / comment for Cynthia Cruz, is it okay to bring up now, or is there a better time for that?
Vince?
I think, is it urgent? Let's put it there. If it's urgent.
No, it's not urgent.
Okay, because we're not supposed to have any conversation when they do the report, but
Got it. Okay.
we can let, if it's really important, we can let the question go through.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I wouldn't feel comfortable deciding for myself whether it's important, so it can wait. That's fine.
Okay. Thank you, Mel.
I'm going to move on to item number, well, area rep reports and committee announcements. Vince, is it a little redundant to do area rep reports, or should we just go through it?
Well, let's just ask, does anybody have a report from their area? If they don't have a report, then we can move on from the agenda item.
Okay.
So we have Melanie, do you still have your hand up for the report?
I do, and I can make it quick.
And I think this is where you can maybe throw that question in.
Yeah, I might throw it in. I just wanted to give an update. We had a Film LA production here in Area 2 on Tuesday. A lot of like an inordinate amount of street parking blocked, and everyone uses street parking here. We have very few residents that have their own driveway. Luckily, we were able to like be in close contact with the locations manager, who was responsive to us and did give us back quite a bit of our parking. We were able to keep everyone from being towed, help some residents jump their cars, but it did take like constant communication back and forth with the locations manager to make sure that that happened, as far as like no one being towed or ticketed. So just wanted to give everyone an update on that. It was for a production at Lala, I think it was a New Balance commercial. I did ask them about compensating neighbors who either had to like take Ubers to run their errands. There's like a grade school teacher who lives on our block, who's on spring break, who like needed to go to the store to get groceries and like take her kid somewhere, but like was too afraid to because she's gonna lose her parking spot. So just stuff like that. I just wanted to kind of keep everyone in the loop, because I know filming and production has been kind of on our minds lately, but that's it. It probably went as well as it could have, but they didn't agree to do any kind of compensation to the people who were inconvenienced. All right, thank you. Oh, I just want to really quickly, I'm sorry, Ms. Cruz, I was just wondering if Mr. De Leon at some point could like comment on the fact of the like so-called the groundbreaking on the 7th Street so-called improvements, how they had like positioned the fire trucks in a way to block off all the homeless, the unhoused people who were living on that area, as he was giving his announcement for the groundbreaking, and just kind of blocking off, like pretending that they didn't exist. It was pretty upsetting to see. I'm just wondering if he'll make a comment on why they decided to hide all of the unhoused people while having that groundbreaking.
Right.
Thank you, Mel.
Thank you, Mel.
Yeah, oh, can I answer?
Yes, if you can.
Oh, yeah, Melanie. Yeah, so that area is actually our downtown LA oversees that area. So I don't work directly with that area. So I can definitely reach out to them or connect you or, find out more information and report back on that. But I really don't have too much information about the groundbreaking ceremony that day and what happened. So, but I'm happy to get that information for you. And there's another thing that I forgot to report really quickly. We have our LA conservation crew that comes out weekly to address locations in Lincoln Heights that need addressing. So any maintenance related requests, anything, weed whacking, bulky items, let me know, we can send them to those locations too.
Thank you, Cynthia.
Mhm.
And then Melanie, what area do you represent? Just
I'm Area 2.
okay.
Yep.
And then next we have Gil.
Yes, I just want to let everyone know that from Fernanda, I did hand out some flyers regarding that be able to get your rent or prevent eviction. Just walked around and handed out a few. I know that they were put to use because I put one up in my building and they were taken down. So somebody grabbed them and probably make use of them. But it's the 31st is the final day to register for that, in case everybody wants to know. Thank you.
Thank you, Gil.
Thank you. Esmeralda.
I noticed that on I'm in Area 7 on San Fernando and Humboldt. There's like a little electric metal blocker grid. I don't know what it's called, and it looks like someone was trying to break into it with a crowbar, and that area did experience like a temporary power loss. I don't know if those two are related or why someone would try to break into that grid. And I also want to suggest the bulk bin, maybe around the Goodwill donation area. Sometimes people at night will just leave their stuff there. because they missed the donations, or sometimes they just think, well, this is trash, I'm gonna leave it here. And they just think that Goodwill will deal with it. And there's also a lot of encampments in the area. So they would like to throw their trash away in the bin. So that's like, the Goodwill is at, it's on San Fernando and Humboldt.
Yeah, there's a lot of illegal dumping mainly, or I spend a lot of time over there and I seen trucks pull up and dump drywall and construction materials. Maybe Avenue 19, but that's CD1. And Esmeralda, where you are, that's CD1 too. So not CD14. But
Oh, okay.
we should reach out to CDO's office and maybe get a junk bin.
Esmeralda.
Cool, thank you.
Esmeralda. Selena Ortega.
Hi, everyone. So I'm also the Area 7 at-large representative. So I'm over here by like the Lhnc Market by Main and Avenue 19. Earlier today, there was a middle-aged woman who, she was bald and she had like a long black like trench coat type thing on, and she was going into homes and taking property. I heard from at least 3 neighbors up Avenue 18. So right across the street, so on Avenue 18, between Darwin and Mozart, I believe, right across the street from Albion. I know one of the residents offered her water, or, offered to see if she needed anything, but she just proceeded with taking items. So if anybody else is in the area, just kind of keep a lookout for your property. It was really hot today, so, also look out for everyone, but definitely be careful, especially around like the elementary school.
Yeah.
Selena.
All right, Steve. Area 6, Mr. Steve.
Yes, hey, Steve, Area Rep 6. I just want to let everybody know that the Brewery Art Walk is this weekend. It is from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. All public is welcome, and they're asking everybody to please wear your mask while entering studios. Also, the encampments on Moulton have been tamed since the shooting that was about a month ago. There was one individual encampment removed that was collecting the most. I don't know what the relationship was or what, no details there, but now the food trucks that used to be on Moulton are gonna be on Avenue 21 now. So that is a big update here.
Steve, so yeah, Moulton and Avenue 21 are public streets that have nothing to do with the brewery. So are you saying Avenue 21's open now?
I believe Avenue 21 is open, yes.
Like south where the brewery is? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right,
Thank you, Steve.
thanks.
We have no more, Sarah?
Okay, so now we're gonna move on to item number, committee announcements. If your committee has an announcement, please announce your announcement. So I'll make an announcement. Planning and Land Use Committee. I'm the chair, Benny's the vice chair. We're gonna have our meeting on the 16th, or not the 16th, but the third Wednesday of the month. So that would be, that would be the 20th of April. So any other committees have any announcements?
We have Selena.
Hi, it's me again. So the Elections Committee, we've been very busy planning, the candidate forum, but aside from that, very important information. So the upcoming elections, the city elections, they're taking place June 7th, which is the primary, and then November 8th, which is the general elections. Residents and stakeholders should be aware that June 7th is the primary and only vote for the CD1 candidate. So CD1 candidate will be chosen in June because there are only 2 people who are running for that position. Yes? Can you give me 1 second, baby? I'll go check right now. I'm sorry about that. And also the June 7th, so it's gonna be vote by mail. At least the June 7th is vote by mail. That's also very important information. So anybody who is registered to vote is automatically going to receive a ballot. So everybody who is able to register to vote, you can go to alleyvote.gov. And there you can also register to get updates on where your ballot is, if it's been processed, if it's on the way. If if you have neighbors and colleagues who are not able to vote, it's always good to kind of spread the information on who is voting, you know, who is looking out for the community and who is not. You know, word of mouth is also a very powerful tool. So yeah, if anybody has any information on where you can drop off your ballot or, you know, registering to vote, please email me at selena.lhnc@gmail.com.
Thank you, Selena. And then we now have Fernanda.
Everyone, just wanted to give an update. The housing clinic went great, handed out a bunch of pamphlets. There were a lot of community members that were interested in forming a tenants union or anything like that. The Lincoln Heights Tenants Union had a meeting yesterday, which was really successful. There was a really big turnout. And we do have some residents here in Lincoln Heights that are currently experiencing a crisis of being displaced and harassed by attorneys to move out of their house and accept cash for keys. The Lincoln Heights Tenants Union will be on the meeting later today to introduce themselves, to talk a little bit about what the meetings entail and when those meetings take place.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Fernanda. And then I have an announcement for ARC. ARC is we moved our meeting to April the 12th for this month because we couldn't get our steering committee to meet. So we invite anybody to go out. If anybody has an agenda item they wish to see on ARC, they have to get it in by tomorrow. They're going to be sending out the agendas. So if you have any regional items that you want, the ARC of the Alliance, which is it's 17 neighborhood councils that form the LA River. So we want everyone to participate. And for our environmental injustice, we are going to be having a meeting coming up soon to take on those issues. You also too can either email myself, Vincent Montalvo. Well, hold on, it's Vincent m.lhnc@gmail.com if you would like an agenda item on. And also we are going to be having, which is not on our committees, but it is a committee, a grant committee, and we will be having our meeting this month too. So, you know, they'll make these announcements down again at the bottom, but you have an MPG, send it in to the email address I just gave you.
Excellent, most excellent. All right, so any other committee announcements here?
I don't see any more.
All right, well, we're gonna move on to 8. Elections Committee, Selena. 8A, 2022 CD1, Lincoln Heights in-person town hall candidate forum, Eunice Hernandez and Gilbert Cedillo. The Elections Committee voted to recommend these items on April 2nd. That was last Saturday. So move on to 8A1, discussion and possible action on event date. So Selena, you want to take over this?
Sure.
All right.
So we were basically like talking about like the day and the location, and we thought that I'm sorry, wait, give me 1 second. Are we voting on the location or the date?
Yeah, we're not even talking about, we've already made the committee already had the meetings and stuff.
Okay,
So
okay.
what about the date, time, location?
Got it.
Approving the authorization and the budget.
Okay. So we were going over everything, and we kind of felt like May 13th was a great date because it's 1 month away basically from the primary elections. So information is fresh in person's, heads. And it gives us enough time to spread the word about the actual forum. 6:30 seemed like a prime time because people usually, residents are working until about 5 o'clock, more or less. So we wanted to make sure that we had a great time for even working persons to attend. The location, Lincoln High School's Auditorium, it's a historical location, and this year feels like a very historical election, just because there's a lot of excitement around this election, I feel like this year. So we felt that this was a great location that could highlight that. And so the neighborhood council needs to approve. So there's a form that was attached with the attachments and the agenda. So the neighborhood council needs to approve this form, or will need to approve all of the information on the form, which gives our neighborhood council name, the contact, the event description, date, time. So once the neighborhood council approves this, it's going to be sent along with the BAC form, the board action certification form, and the event budget. And so once everything is signed, we'll go ahead and send it to the city. And once the city receives this information, they can go ahead and send us the certification of insurance, payment, and we can submit the other application, which is the LAUSD application. That's not here, that other application, but this is going to be a two-step process. So this is the first phase. And once again, once this budget and this form is finalized or approved by everyone here, we can go ahead and proceed to the second aspect of the application process. Did everyone have a chance to look over the budget, or did anyone have any questions? It's a very simple budget.
I'll put it up right now for you,
Well,
Selena.
we can run through the items. So the first item is the date, time, location. Those are the first three that we have to vote on. Then we're gonna vote on the budget and the packet.
Yes.
So let's maybe run through the action items. Well, they're all action items, but
So I'll make the motion. Okay, so we're doing, this is for the election committee. I'll make a motion to accept the date to be May 13th, 2020, the time to be 6:30, and the location to be at Lincoln High School Auditorium. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Ben seconds.
right?
Sarah, a board discussion and then public comment, and then we vote on the time, date, and location.
So board discussion, any board member discussion on this item on the date? It is Friday the 13th.
I don't see anybody with their hand up from the board.
Okay. Any public comments on this item of the date?
I don't see any public comment.
Okay, then we're gonna go to a roll call vote.
Oh,
Secretary,
1 second, we have
well, Annalise, hands up.
Annalee.
Yeah, I was just Friday, I know, I mean, I personally know that I cannot, I would like to go. I know I can't go on Friday, but I'm wondering if there might be other people on Fridays that maybe have plans for the weekend or something, and maybe something during the week might work. I mean, but anyways, just throwing it out there.
Thank you, Annalee.
Um,
I don't see
Can I-
more board discussion.
Can we respond?
Yes.
sure.
Well, the reason we specifically chose that day was because every form, so for example, like this, the neighborhood council event approval form needs to be submitted 1 month in advance. And the LAUSD authorization form also needs to be submitted 1 month in advance. So when kind of planning when these forms are going to be submitted, we measured a month. And so like May 9th would have been a month. So we're just giving ourselves a few more days just so that we can squeeze everything in on time. And I think Sarah had agreed that Friday was just, it just kind of felt like people, you know, would be more inclined to go on a Friday evening.
Yeah, historically, you know, this candidate forum is something that we have every 4 years. For the past, I don't know, couple decades. So it's
Never at Lincoln though, so this is pretty
Lincoln, yeah.
exciting.
So yeah, Lincoln's gonna be renovated at $230 million renovations. We might not recognize it anymore. And we want to highlight the legacy of the auditorium and the people, you know, the civic things that have happened over the past decades that, you know, and high school kids, yeah, will be involved too.
Thank you, Selena.
Thank you, Selena. So let's take it for a vote.
We don't have no more board comment. We need to go to public comment.
Yeah. Any public comments on this item?
I don't see any public comment.
Okay, so we're going to go to a roll call vote. Secretary Sanchez?
Sarah Clendenning,
Aye.
Ben Wadsworth,
Yes.
Vincent Montalvo,
Yes.
Fernanda Sanchez, yes. Nancy Soto,
Yes.
Benny Madera,
Yes.
Joanna Iraeta,
Yes.
Diana Tran,
Yes.
Annalie Har,
Yes.
Melanie Bolamo Shiflet,
Yes.
Diego Zapata,
Yes.
Richard Ortiz,
Simón.
Gail Arevalo,
Yes.
Steve Lucero,
Yes.
Selena Ortega,
Yes.
Esmeralda Landeros.
Yes.
That's unanimous, motion carries.
Carries. All right, so we're gonna move on to item number 8A2. Discussion and possible action on event time, 6:30 PM, 6:30
No,
PM.
we did the 3 packet. It was the date, the time, and the location. Now we're on
Oh.
item 4. Yeah, this one, I'll make the motion for it. I'll make the motion on item 8.4, which is discussion and possible action on approval of event authorization form
All
for
right,
the event dated Friday, May 13th at 6:30 PM at Lincoln High School Auditorium. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I suggest we get the budget on that as well. Isn't it part of the form?
yeah,
The budget's not going to be able to be approved today because it doesn't, Brown Act requires funding up to with the amount on an agenda item. So we're gonna, now it's not gonna affect this. We might have to have a special meeting for it, or our second meeting will have to cover it. We have to do a line budget to put the amount up. The way it's formed now, we won't be able, city clerk won't pass it.
that's because it's not actually written out. The verbiage is incorrect on this.
Yeah.
On this.
It
Okay,
would just have to say approval of event budget, funding up to, $300 for the event, and we don't have that.
yes,
So
we're gonna-
item number 5, we'd have to continue and redo it.
Yeah,
We wouldn't be able to amend it?
No, because the public has to know what the money's being spent on and the
money-
amount.
yeah.
Got it.
The pivotal thing is it's a $90 fee to apply to use the LAUSD site. So
Yeah, so
that-
we would probably have to have like a special meeting like in the next couple of days just to approve it because everything needs to be submitted like promptly and together.
Okay. Well, then we're gonna move on to the item number 4 then, right? The event authorization form, Vince? with the
Correct.
Any budget stuff? Okay, so let's continue. Let's keep
And
moving.
we got who was the second? I moved. Who seconds?
I did.
Okay, Ben second. So Sarah, it's board comment and then public comment.
Any board member comments on this, well, the application? Vince, could you pull it up?
And we have Fernanda.
Not necessarily on the application, but is it possible to set up the date for the special meeting right now? And then also just wanna thank Selena for her efforts in organizing all of this, and including local businesses on this event. So thank you.
Yeah, if anybody wants to be involved in any of these committee meetings, we have them on the Saturdays, or we've been having them on Saturdays. So this itemized list, it's just saying like, how many people will be participating? Will you need a table? Will you need a microphone? Do you have insurance? Right, Selena?
Yes, and usually the city takes care of that, like the whole insurance and the payment portion.
Okay, cool. And so that's our application, and it doesn't have any of the budget stuff on it. So any other board member discussion on this application?
I don't see anymore.
Any public comments on this application for Lincoln High School for the CD1 Town Hall debate?
I don't see any.
Okay, so we're gonna take it for a vote. Secretary Sanchez, roll call, please.
Sarah Clendenning,
Aye.
Ben,
Yes.
Vince,
Yes.
Fernanda, yes. Nancy,
Yes.
Benny,
Yes.
Joanna,
Yes.
Diana,
Yes.
Richard,
Simón.
Gil,
Sorry.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Gil, Steve,
Yes.
Selena, go back to you, Esmeralda,
I'm sorry, I couldn't unmute myself. Yes.
and Esmeralda.
Yes.
It's unanimous, motion carries.
Motion carries. Woo.
I didn't hear my name, but I'm a yes. It's Melanie.
I
Melanie.
also didn't hear my name. Yes.
I know, same here, Annalie, yes.
Did I skip a whole line? I think
We love you, Fernie, don't worry.
Annalie, Melanie, and Diego. I'm so sorry.
All right. Well, it's unanimous then. Yes, motion carries. All right. Yay. We're gonna move on to, okay, item number 9, Planning and Land Use Committee, pluck.
Point of order, Madam President.
Yes, sir.
Should we address what was brought up about the item 8AV or 5 about the budget? Should we just do that right now? Because as far as like a special meeting, I mean, off the top of my head, I'm thinking maybe a week from today, we can have a special meeting for this one item.
It'll be a budget Vince, it will be a budget committee meeting, right?
No, it would be, it has to be a general, it could be a special general board meeting.
Yeah, we'll just do a special general board.
Yeah, because this is a funding item. And the only thing that when the Brown Act, you put something up of money, I have to create the BAC, which is the board action form. And then it has to specifically say the amount and the best description you can put on there and what the amount's going to be used for. And you did everything but put that into the agenda, but we do have an itemized list that Selena put together, which is great. So we just need to put the line item up. It'd be a very short meeting.
I messed up, you guys.
It would have to be before the 13th though, right, Selena?
Yes, so it has to be exactly, it has to, this form needs to be submitted 30 days prior to the event. So the event is on the 13th. So let me see, 7, 14, 8. Yeah, so before April 13th.
Okay, we'll do that.
So it would have to be like Monday.
I hate to say, we're still waiting for confirmation too. So it's all kind of still, I don't know if I'm supposed to say that, but we have a lot of loose ends still that we have to get tied up. All right, well, we'll keep everybody posted on that. We'll move on to item number 9, Planning and Land Use Committee, pluck. We're gonna continue that one to the next meeting. Still waiting for confirmation. That would be the General Hospital Reuse Feasibility Study. So we're going to go to 9B, presentation, Avenue 34, DTSC RAW, removal action work plan that was just put out. 5-minute presentation, 5-minute discussion. And now we have Michael Hayden and we have Jessica in attendance here. And we have a supporting document of a letter. And then we actually have the RAW. We'd have to go to the website for the RAW. Let's elevate Jessica and Michael to speaker status, please, Vince,
Okay.
or panelists.
Who's going to be speaking first?
Who's ready? I don't know, Jessica, maybe? Yeah.
Hello, Jessica. I promoted her to panelist. Let me see. Jessica Swan. Jessica? Okay, I think.
Good evening, everyone. I do not have prepared remarks for this agenda item. I saw it as an email from the listserv. So I am available for questions. We did recently send out the notification. The response to comments is available online. We are having that document translated and reviewed at this time due to the link that is delaying the Spanish version. So we wanted to make sure that both versions, when we sent it out, had both versions available, but you can review the English version on the Avenue 34 EnviroStore page.
Okay, cool. All right, thank you, Jessica. And you said that there's going to be a public meeting, DTSC public meeting, April
27th at
April-
6 p.m.
April 27th, 6 p.m. Okay, cool. And that's the rescheduled one, right?
Yes, that is, yes. So
Okay.
similar to the notification that you guys already received, it's going to be very similar, just the dates have been updated.
Okay, thank you.
And then tomorrow, so today, late this afternoon, we received the remedial action implementation plan. And that will be uploaded to EnviroStore tomorrow for everyone to review.
Okay,
Just letting you guys know that that's coming.
okay, thank you.
Thank
All
you,
right.
Jessica.
Thank
So
you. And then-
I just want to ask Michael, is he gonna need screen share?
No, I don't need screen share. Can you hear me?
We do have a photo on our supporting docs of the site paved now with stage materials being staged there for the development. And we have a letter that Michael penned to, I think, DTSC. There it is. Okay, Michael.
Hi, can you guys hear me?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Sorry, I've got a little bit of a spotty connection, but as you heard this week, DTSC approved the site characterization and RAW for the Avenue 34 project. This is the same document that DTSC invited public comment on back in December, and there were 70 letters from the concerned community, from expert scientists, and from our elected leaders, including Hilda Solis, County Supervisor, and U.S. Congressman Jimmy Gomez, voicing concerns about safety for the neighbors, school children at Hillside, the history of the site as an illegal toxic waste dump, which DTSC did not mention at all, and still doesn't mention in the site characterization, insisting that they test beyond the property boundaries, all of that stuff. And still, DTSC has not tested beyond the property boundaries, despite their own maps showing that contamination likely does extend beyond it, and despite claiming that the previous tenants dumped toxic waste also beyond the property boundaries. We highlighted the facts that toxins were dumped directly into the sewers at this address, but DTSC hasn't required testing the sewers or the surrounding soils for evidence of those impacts. We raised the concern that DTSC hasn't explicitly required cleanup to federal standards for residential safety, and according to the developer, told them that they would be allowed to clean up the site to a much less protective standard. And that's in the first draft of the RAW. You can find that. Also, this cleanup will only provide DTSC oversight for about 1/4 of the actual excavation of the site, even though contamination generally increases as you go deeper. And so a lot of confirmed contaminated and likely contaminated soil will be removed, not under DTSC's watch. DTSC's approval is ignoring all of our concerns. They're requiring no new tests at the property or beyond the property. They have conducted no health assessment of risks to neighbors, even though that's something that 2 DTSC scientists explicitly called for before this was approved. They haven't presented any findings of their investigation into the illegal dumping. They just say they've investigated it, but they won't say what that found. They're not investigating the sewers or this massive 40-foot tunnel that runs through the property and continues as a pipe through the neighborhood and underneath homes across the street, across Pasadena Avenue. They're not putting any language into the site characterization acknowledging the dumping. They're making the claim without presenting any evidence that the dumping was cleaned up in 1984. That cleanup in the 80s lasted less than 12 hours, and clearly this block is still highly contaminated. And they're making the unsupported claim that that dumping has not impacted the property and that the contamination on the site is from an unknown source. DTSC is supposed to be what's that? DTSC is supposed to be the public's protective agency, but instead it seems like they're protecting these developers' profits and legal liability instead. They still acknowledge that neighbors are being exposed to vapor intrusion, but they're going out of their way to avoid any new testing that could help us better understand those risks. They're trying to make sure that the contamination on this property is not described as having any relationship to the dumping that happened in the 80s. And they're saying that that dumping was cleaned up, which is clearly not the case. This is an insult to everyone's intelligence, including their own. And if DTSC can't conduct an honest and thorough investigation in the face of such overwhelming community concern and historical evidence, then they have no business managing this site. We're scared for our health, and we're scared for what's going to happen once this starts, and we're scared for what's going to happen once DTSC walks away and the developers have still only gotten through 1/4 of their excavation.
Right. Thank you, Michael, for your presentation. Yeah, so on our agenda here, if you click on Avenue 34 DTSC Raw on that hyperlink, it will take you to the website with the actual document so you can see this removal action work plan that just was released. Okay, so I guess we'll move on to a couple minutes Q&A. Maybe we'll move on to public questions, right? If there's anybody from the public who has a question or wants to talk about this, please raise your hand or press *9. Avenue 34, Tom Williams. Okay.
Hello.
Hey, how are you?
Hi. Dr. Tom Williams, LA32, but also president of Citizens Coalition for Safe Community. When are you going to sue the DTSC? That will be the question, because they're not following their own rules. They're not following any real rules. There's a question regarding, is it going to cost more than $2 million to clean up the mess? Depends upon how much they have to clean up. So it would appear that the only way to go forward against this project is to take it to court. So my condolences. We've been there before. We took the LA County to court in 2008, and they have been complying with the court ever since 2010. So it can work, but you got to take them to court. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you, Tom.
I don't see no more public comment or question.
Any more public comments on this item? All right, so we'll take it to board member discussion. Any board member comments on this item? It's not really an action item. We're just kind of visiting.
Gilbert?
Yeah, yes, if this gentleman has been doing a lot of work and everything else for us, and I don't know if it's appropriate or if he's had permission from us, but I think that the Lincoln Heights Neighborhood Council should join in all these communications that he's sending out. If that requires a vote from the board, that we be mentioned in any correspondence that he sends out. I think that we need to let them know that we're involved and we're concerned.
Yeah. We've written multiple community impact statements and letters explicitly to the EPA and all this stuff. I guess my comment is there's a photo in our thing, but it's, the paving of the Welch's site was approved, and the developers they set up double wide trailers all over that renowned toxic site, and now they're staging building materials there well before their remedial action work plan was approved. Suspicious, yes. That's my comment.
Can I add one thing?
Sure.
Just on that point that you said about Welch's site, it's true what Sarah brings up, that they were staging stuff even before this was approved, and also they were doing all that work paving that site before Welch's was closed for the remediation. It has been under for 35 years or whatever. When DTSC finally closed that, conveniently, just like last week, the Welch's site got a closure letter, and one of the clauses in the closure letter is that they're not allowed to do any grading on that site without a protective soil management plan in place. That's also very convenient timing, because they just graded and paved that entire site just before that requirement was written, without a protective soil management plan. So just another example of the negligent way that DTSC is treating this community.
Thank you, Michael.
It reminds me of when they cut down all the trees before the actual environmental study of the nesting birds.
We got Melanie.
Mel?
Yeah, sorry. It's like living in the Twilight Zone. Every time, we get an update from DTSC, it seems like there's no urgency or like no acknowledgement of anything that, I'm sorry, buddy, here, that we've been bringing up. It's just like almost like it's like a goalpost moving situation. And it just also feels like, I brought this up last time when they paved the lot. Like, why are we paving the lot in the middle of like still investigating? And like, why are they staging building materials still, like, when nothing's been decided? I don't know. It's so frustrating because like, we're just talking about our lives here. This is not just like some building we don't want built. Like, we're literally talking about the lives of the community that are at stake. And there seems to be no outrage even on the side of DTSC is supposed to be protecting us. It's just getting so old and frustrating.
Yeah,
Thank you, Mel.
couple years. now.
Deanna?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I just like to reiterate how frustrated I am, especially as somebody who went to Hillside for elementary. Well, when I was celebrating my birthday, I saw that on March 20th, I mean, not March 20th, March 12th, they had already paved over it with like asphalt, it's like blacktop and everything, you know, and it's just like, we've spoken about this before, like, and it's been like 2 years since we were first protesting and arguing against this, but Pinon, they haven't had anything, no punishment, no slap, they haven't even had a slap on the wrist. And it feels that our efforts are being put to waste, or at least, yeah, as Melanie said, the goalposts keep moving. And like, honestly, it feels like they're trying to frustrate us out of doing nothing, especially because Pinon keeps getting away with everything. Like, we've brought all our concerns up before, nothing's happened. And just, it's a cycle that repeats over and over again.
Thank you, Deanna.
Yeah, the community's been doing so much, but nothing's come out of it.
Any other board member discussion on this item?
I just like to make that just a quick comment on it. This is stuff that we've been fighting for in our communities for a long time. This is the environmental injustice that we see that the city takes part in, that the state covers up in. And you know, they don't like us to say those types of things, but here we are having this discussion. It's no different than what they're doing at Taylor Yard, the G2, right? All these projects that are in our area, none of them seem to be contaminated. None of them seem to be, you know, that we don't have an issue. When these are the old Duhaney fields, these are the old oil fields. The history shows how contaminated our area is. And for the state to be that negligent, not even to look at the history of it, I mean, it should alarm every citizen in Los Angeles and the state of California, but this is how our government functions. These are the reasons why we need to change the faces of them. They're not in favor of us. Everything that they're doing is hurting us. Some of these chemicals that they're messing with are reproductive harming chemicals. These chemicals will sit in our kids' brains. You know, this is what we're messing with. And yet to them, it's just like, oh, well, that's just the way it rolls. And when it's all covered up and pretty, you won't know until 30 years from now until you're affected by the fumes. That's their attitude. It's been their attitude. That's why poor Tom had to sue. And probably our kids are going to need to sue for their rights. And when we're suing, it means negligent. That's what we got to be focused on. If they're willing to be negligent, we need to wake up as people. Thank you.
Thank you, Vince.
We have Steve.
Oh, Steve.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, I remember when I tripped out when I responded to taking photos of the trees that were being cut down and we tried to save them. And I remember that to me was outrageous. And now it's confirmed that there has been a history of toxic waste dump here, and it doesn't feel like there feels like there's no intense feeling or emotion coming from the other side. It's all on one side, it feels.
Just one point, Steve, they're numb with money.
I want to make a comment about, okay, so, you know, there's this gaslighting that's been going on for the past 2 years, right? So it's like, we discovered that in 1984, the city attorney prosecuted through the Joint Task Force, they prosecuted they put in jail one of the first like illegal toxic dumpers with their strike force. The guy buried 254 barrels of toxic waste in underground caverns on the site. But the city had no recollection of this and destroyed records in 2016 related to the case, right? When you look at the geological, the technical report and the environmental thing. It just totally excludes all of this, you know, excludes a good decade, 1980 to 1990, right? For a reason. Because this site, as we researched more, had been purchased through Model Cities funding in 1969, 1970, with money that was supposed to go to the Lincoln Heights Jail, which instead did Avenue 34. And it was a nonprofit called East Northeast Economic Development Corporation under LA Economic Development Corp. They mowed down the site. They graded 1 million cubic yards of earth. They built the warehouses with federal money. All right, and guess who was on that board? Gloria Molina. 1972, she's on the Articles of Incorporation for the nonprofit, right? And they owned that site until 2010 when it was sold to a private party who was a wealthy man, and then he sold it to a developer. So the city's been involved for the whole time, and they were the proprietor. This nonprofit was the proprietor when that tenant was illegally dumping, and that person on that board became the councilwoman and then the assembly woman for the state. So riddle me that. That's a new nut that's been cracked. And that's all I have to say.
Bernie, next.
I just, to keep it short, because we have been fighting for this for 2 years now. This is just a perfect example of environmental racism. Los Angeles is prioritizing luxury development at the expense of brown lives. And the entities and organizations in place like DTSC that are supposed to protect us aren't, and it's really obvious why. And it's really exhausting for our community to keep fighting for so long, and we have to for our survival and just to exist in peace. And so it's up to us to just keep fighting. We have the power because apparently these organizations don't care about us. And so I again want to say thank you to Michael for all of your efforts and everybody else that has been involved in this, because it has been an uphill battle and something that shouldn't be an uphill battle. So thank you.
Thank you, Fernie. And then last but not least, Deanna.
Hi, yeah, I just want to I know everybody's been saying 2 years to give everybody an actual picture of how long 2 years have been. When I learned about this, I was a sophomore in high school. And 2 years later, I am a senior. I am going to go to college with a full ride in 5 months. And by then, I'm very sure this issue still will not be resolved, even though it has been 2 years and I have graduated from high school by then.
Oh,
Hope not.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
all right, babe. Well,
We have no more comment on this, and this is not an action item.
not an action item, so we're going to move on to item number 10A. And I want to thank Michael and DTSC for speaking today. And we're going to move on to item number 10A. Nancy, just I kind of announced this in the beginning, but the micro enterprise grant 10A. Nancy.
Hi everyone. Can we go to the website just so people can see what it looks like?
Yeah.
Is that a link?
Vince, can you click on the link there, the City of LA Micro Enterprise Grant? There you go.
So I played around with the languages and it'll translate just the this page, the first page, but it won't translate the rest of the application, unfortunately. So if anyone needs help with that, it's actually a very short application. Let's see. The deadline is Friday, April 15th, and the city is granting a total of $8.5 million worth in micro enterprise grant recovery grants. So it's $10,000 for micro enterprises with no employees. So if you are just a single person and own a business, you can apply and you can receive $10,000. Or if you're a micro enterprise with employees, 5 or fewer,
you can qualify for $15,000. What else? Oh yeah, you have to be for profit, have fewer than 5 employees, including the owner, and be located in the city of Los Angeles. Funds can be used for operating expenses like payroll, rent, insurance, and inventory. So let's see. Oh, through my findings, what did I discover? That there is one requirement that your City of Los Angeles tax registration certificate, which is your business tax certificate, it needs to be up to date and active. That was really the only requirement that I discovered. Okay, this is really important. Yeah, so you're saying the translation doesn't work on the website, right? Yeah, just on the first page, but not throughout the whole application. We should do an email to them about that. Yeah, I think that's really important because it's inequitable. Yeah, totally. And then, okay, so any questions on this, anybody? When we have a link to it on the website here. It's not an action item, so do we need a discussion, Vince?
No. If there's no question on the board or on the public side, we can move on.
Okay. So if there's any questions, raise your hand. Public? Press *9. No?
I don't see any.
We'll move on to outreach 10B. So this is regarding our in-person meeting space. Nancy? Hi again. We were looking for a place that was wheelchair accessible, not just with ramps, but also like restrooms, something that was comfortable. So the Lincoln Heights Senior Citizen Center was the, I guess, the friendliest user location that we can come up with. Okay. Cool. Yeah, there's plenty of parking, wide doors, comfortable restrooms. So yeah, that's what. And we're just waiting. We should, you know how the senior center's been closed for the past 2 years, even as a cooling center. We should make sure, like on the RAP site, it says all senior centers will be closed during COVID, they're still all closed. So we have to make sure it's not closed. For instance, the end of the emergency thing, I know with the rent is till 2023. So Vince, what is the likelihood that the senior center could be closed till 2023?
It's all gonna vary, like they're talking now in the city. I don't think things are gonna open up normally, and that all depends on the new variant that we have, as this COVID has been multiplying, like mutating. It's just been a crazy ride, right? So I don't know. I can tell you that the state is considering extending the moratorium and the rent relief. So that lets you know a little bit more that they're probably looking at this riding out for another year, possibly.
I know that
that's just what we're hearing up at the state level right now.
RAP's having financial issues too, so they're probably trying to keep all the senior centers closed, but the other RAP sites are open, like the Lincoln Heights.
Well, let me just ask for this so I can make it into a motion if we have to approve this site, because I see there's board members. I know I see Diego and everyone else has something to say. So is this being considered right now?
Yeah.
For our space, or are we waiting to hear back?
We had to submit the space to see if it was ADA accessible to Dunn.
Okay.
And that was like, we were behind on that.
So we can approve it now and then just hear back and see what happens with the senior center.
Okay.
So I'll make the motion to approve the item 10B, discussion and possible action on approval of the NC, the Lincoln Heights Neighborhood Council meeting venue at the Lincoln Heights Senior Center. Do I have a second?
Second.
Ben seconds. Okay, Diego, board discussion.
Thanks, Santa. I was because I do know that it has been closed for a while, and I also know that they are renovating that entire park next to the senior center with artificial turf. So there's likely to be construction happening around that in the foreseeable future. Have we thought about like trying out the Lincoln Heights Youth Center as a potential site for meeting. I know it's been open. I know kids go in and out, and it does have restrooms and parking and that kind of thing.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
a
it
central
should be.
location.
We can add,
But I was just curious.
yeah. I mean, I was just curious because that center's also been closed for the whole time. They've been doing all their stuff virtually. So RAP's kind of spotty on what's open and what's not. Maybe we'll just table this till the next meeting. Vince and Nancy, what do you think?
Yeah, I don't have a problem with it. Do we have a deadline by when we're supposed to be putting it in?
We just had to submit a list of like possible places. So we just kind of, this is the last place that we were at.
Before we continue, let's just listen to the other board members, and then I can retract my motion.
Okay.
Gilbert?
Yes, for Diego, the improvements to that facility is going to be on the recreation park side. It doesn't touch the senior citizen center. So you'd have access and everything else to that. It won't be denied. You won't be not able to get into the senior citizen center. And it is also accessible as far as the handicap is also. So it's the best place in town for us. Thank you.
Deanna?
Hi, so Diego suggests the Lincoln Heights Youth Arts Center, and I'd just like to say that they've had hockey and boxing in the center, and the bathrooms are really nice. There's good Wi-Fi connection, and it's rather clean. Yeah, the programs have been online though, except for the boxing and hockey. And I'd say they definitely do have the space to hold us, especially in the auditorium.
Thank you, Deanna. Fernanda?
So once we resume the senior center, the Zoom meetings will no longer be happening because I think that Zoom allows for a lot of people to participate. Kind of just throwing it out there. And off topic, the whole artificial grass renovation is just so gross. Like, why are we doing that? We need to keep our green spaces open. I don't know.
Lost a tree there too.
Yeah.
Thank you, Fernanda. Diego?
Yeah, I just wanted to add on to Diana's statement. I know Rec and Parks has had their programming open in that facility. I know DCA, because it is certainly managed by Rec and Parks and the Department of Cultural Affairs, hasn't been able to. It might be more tricky just because there are two city departments co-managing that location, and we might have to get permission from both as opposed to just Rec and Parks. But I just think it is a central location, and and anyone in Lincoln Heights can walk to the youth center. So I can reach out to the center director and see if she can talk to us about potentially having it as a meeting space. I also know, I mean, Lincoln High School would be a great spot as well. But anyways, that's all.
Thank you, Diego. Melanie?
Hi. Fernie brought up a couple things, so I'm just gonna bring up a couple things. I mean, like being off of Zoom, like really freaks me out. Like it just freaks me out. I love to be in person, but like, like this is what I do during I put my kids to bed while we're having our Zoom meetings. So like, I'm so scared, but more importantly, access to community. Is there maybe it's a discussion for a different time. Is there any way for us to be able to still allow the community to participate via Zoom for, I don't know, just again, accessibility to the neighborhood council? Like that's a huge concern for me, for our community being able to participate still. And that's it. Aside from like my concerns as a mother. Okay, bye.
Thank you, Mel.
Well, I just want to make this comment. I think one of the things is for us to really reach out. I know Jose's here, and there should really be a discussion that includes all of us in the neighborhood councils to see maybe if there should be an option, if we want to get off Zoom, if we want to be in public, do we want to do both? Because people, like Mel was saying, she has concerns, and we want to make sure that we can at least try to fulfill and protect those concerns that she has for obvious good reasons, right? But for her to be able to make that option. So Jose, I wish the city would be talking to us about all this stuff, because right now I know they're behind the scenes doing it and they're just gonna make one decision and then everyone's just gonna have to work with that. So I think that's unfair to hear people like Mal that have, you know, real concerns out there about going live or staying on Zoom. I know it'll be a little hectic, but I think it's not impossible to do. Deanna?
Yeah, so acknowledging Melanie's concerns, right? I think a hybrid course of action would be like the best. Like I'm actually going to an event on the 21st where it will be it will be hybrid. So there's gonna be people in person, but there's also gonna be a Zoom. Like it's gonna be like also broadcasted through Zoom and everything, and like, you know, people are obviously gonna be able to talk. And also like, yeah, as a youth representative who still lives with my parents, I also would have difficulty going like into in-person meetings because my parents don't want me out late, and like 8 p.m. 9 p.m. is actually pretty late. And then we also have traffic issues as well with parking space.
Yes.
But yeah, so that's why I'd like to throw my hat in for hybrid if we were if we wanted in person.
Can I add something? I'm so sorry. I know I've already raised my hand. I just want to mention, and not to like center on myself, but also just to like for future residents that want to be on the council, like knowing that like you don't have to just be like a person who, it would be more equitable if there was access via Zoom, because like mothers, working people who work late, you know, like it's just more accessible for everyone. That's what I'm saying. Not like about me, I'm no one to watch my kids. It's like making sure that like everyone can participate, including like be a member of the council. Okay.
Yeah, it's like the post-COVID hustle too. It's like people are going back to work. They're trying to find jobs. It's like you don't have much flexibility. You know, we need it to be as accessible as possible. I see Jose's hands up.
Hold on, we have Gil and then I'll go to Jose. Gil had his hand up.
Okay, I agree with the open meeting and the Zoom, and actually the state is allowing certain size groups, and we could certainly know what the size group and keep our social distance, and we can have open meetings and have the Zoom available too, as long as we stay within the allotted number of people for a gathering. It's like they're opening it up for events, and it's limited to a certain number of people. So if we can find out what the state is requirements are, that, then perhaps we can go ahead and try and get some open meetings with the Zoom hybrid type of deal.
Thank you, Gil. We have Jose.
Hi, this is Jose Galdames, the neighborhood department. In regards to your question, like regarding hybrid, so that's a conversation that's been that has started like a few months back with the Board of Neighborhood Commissioners, and is still something that they're still looking into. I believe will be a EVG hybrid work group in order to put together like a process for neighborhood councils in order to hold, you know, in-person and virtual meetings, and how would that look, and also just the other things to take in consideration is you know, what the laws at that point would be applicable to, and that neighbor councils would have to abide by to ensure that, you know, it's following those rules. But yes, it's something that, you know, the department is looking into, and also, like, you know, with the Board of Neighborhood Commissioners, it's a discussion that's been going on, and we're trying to see how that would look for the neighborhood council system, and addressing what the needs are in order to hold those virtual meetings, and what needs to be done in order to have them. But at this time too, we're also asking neighbor councils, you know, to provide possible locations for in-person meetings, so that the ADA, the Department on Disability, can have the person go out and do the ADA assessment of those meeting locations that the neighbor council will possibly hold, so that there's no issues in the future when the neighbor council is able to meet in person. So, I mean, I believe that the neighbor council already has provided a list of locations prior, for those ADA assessments as well.
Mhm. Thank you, Jose.
Who is it?
And we have Christina.
Hi, Christina.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Oh, hi. Hello, everyone. It's been a while since I have been present at any of these meetings. I was attending pre-COVID, and the meetings got kind of out of control, and there was just way too much drama, and I stopped going. So it's really refreshing to be present here and have such a civilized group of people coming together. They're conscientious and yeah, just no fighting as well as far as I can see. But anyway, in the context right here of the outreach committee, I just wanted to introduce, I'm the director of New Familia Health Support Services. We're in the process of transitioning into a nonprofit, and we're located on Broadway in Steve Caston's building. And I was going to offer our office. We have a beautiful office, but on the second floor, and it's on top of those old stairs, and there's no elevator, and it's a tiny bathroom. And so for anyone wheelchair accessible or needing accessibility, it's not a good option. But if there's another meeting, another space that you are in need of for any kind of meeting, know that our space is available to you. We have a very homey yeah, it's just like a living room. It's lovely. So you're always welcome to use our space if necessary, or whatever. And also I just wanted to make myself known that as you're moving forward, like I kind of felt before, it was hard to find my place within these committees. And so I kind of represent health and social services, community services. So yeah, I tried to reach out before, and it was just really hard to find like what committee I belong to. And there was too much other stuff going on, so that just wasn't really a priority at that time, but I would love to be more involved. And we offer childbirth, breastfeeding. We have a Chi-Chi lounge in our office. We do lactation clinics. We have postpartum, work with doulas, yeah, mental health, all for maternity or maternal and perinatal health. So yeah, I just, want to be connected, and let me know how I can be more active in the council.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I fist fight Melanie daily.
Excuse me?
I fist fight Melanie daily.
Oh.
We have Diego.
Diego.
Yeah, thank you, Chente. So I just wanted to just say that I think the pandemic really changed how the city, neighborhood councils, commissions, boards, just the whole gamut of city entities, like, goes about engaging the public.
Oh, wait. Is Diego there? Oh, Diego, I can't hear you.
Hi.
Oh, sorry.
You can't hear me?
No, your voice, you're very low.
Oh, okay.
You gotta speak up.
Yeah.
Okay, give me 1 second. Hear me now? Hello?
Yes.
Oh, lit. Okay, sorry. I guess my AirPods are dead. So anyways, my point is, I think the pandemic really changed like how the city goes about like engaging the public and our constituents. I have never seen more like engagement from our community in like city planning commission hearings and neighborhood council meetings. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that we have an online option, and I would hate to see that go. And I guess my just question is, other neighborhood councils must feel the same way. So have we heard any news from other neighborhood councils submitting like statements to Dunn or to city council about just ensuring that we can maintain like an online presence, an online option to join these meetings? Because I just know that once things have to be in person, that we're going to see a huge curtailing of engagement and participation in local governance, so just a thought.
Thank you, Diego. I don't see any more.
Okay, so we're gonna just thank you, everybody. So
And
we
just one thing, I got a message about the tenants union. If they're asking if we can bring item 11B up to the top
yeah,
and move A down to B.
yeah, Fernanda, so we're at 11, tenants rights committee.
Okay.
So we have the Lincoln Heights Tenants Union that's here. They're gonna go ahead and present first. It's item B. They're just gonna do a quick introduction to what they do, when the meetings happen. They've been doing a lot of awesome organizing. So we have Jesse Sainz here from the Tenants Union. I'm gonna go ahead and promote you as panelist.
Jesse.
Hey, Jesse.
Hi.
Hey,
Hi.
how you doing?
Thanks so much for inviting us here tonight, Fernanda. My
Thank you
name's
for being here.
Jesse. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Man.
Great. Thanks so much. I'm just a rank and file member of the Lincoln Heights Tenants Union, not a leader or anything, but I had access to the meeting tonight, and so I'm really happy to be able to talk to you all about some of the work that the Lincoln Heights Tenants Union has been doing, and it's been awesome to be in touch with some of you individually over the last year of our organizing efforts. It's been really, really encouraging knowing that we have a supportive neighborhood council, members on the neighborhood council who understand that tenants make up the base of the constituency here in the community, and that tenants' rights really mean human rights for residents of Lincoln Heights. We are a diverse membership-based, tenant-centered movement fighting for the human right for housing for all. Our demands are relatively straightforward: truly affordable and safe housing. We oppose the dismantling of rent-stabilized apartments, and we organize against landlord harassment, mass evictions, and displacement, which has made Lincoln Heights an epicenter of this kind of work. We're the front line for a lot of tenants who are thinking about gentrification and displacement for the first time at the point of eviction and displacement for profit on behalf of developers. Our mission is to strengthen tenants' political power through education, first and foremost, advocacy, and direct action. So the form that that's been taking in Lincoln Heights is twofold. One, doing targeted outreach, which means reaching out to tenants who live in rent-stabilized housing, whose properties are being introduced to the market right now, and letting them know their rights before they hear from their landlord. So doing one-on-one education and following up by giving them resources to educate their neighbors and giving them the resources that they need to talk to their community about what their rights are, what they want in terms of their housing, and what a path forward could look like with more resources than what can be a myopic perspective of how to fight displacement that's provided by nonprofits at large. Letting them know that it's not just about what the law says, but it's about what their community says, about having neighbors supporting them, and making them understand that there is a fight to fight. It's not over before it starts. Yes, developers are richer, they have more power, they have more sway in public policy platforms that give landowners and property owners a bigger voice, but that they're not alone. And when they join together, they can advocate for their own needs and their own interests. We meet the first and third Wednesdays of every month at Church of the Epiphany. That's 2808 Altura Street. And it's open to everyone except for police, landlords, and people doing research and journalism. We're totally happy to communicate with people like that, including elected officials as well. But our meetings are space for tenants and people organizing with tenants. Yeah, I just wanted to also put out there, while I have the audience, that one resource that's been limiting us is bilingual Chinese English or Vietnamese English speakers. There's a lot of tenants in our community who, as great as many of the COVID protections are, don't have access because of the language barrier. And I don't just mean non-English language, but also the language a lot of these policies are described to tenants in are really unapproachable. So having a community member that you have a relationship with, that you have a friendship with, that, you know, even if it's someone that you just pass every day on the street and see them working in their garden and you say, hey, that's a beautiful cabbage. What kind of cabbage is that? That's a relationship that you can start communicating a little bit about sort of what these soft power and influence strategies that we as tenants have in a community where a lot of times the right to housing, the right to occupy space, the right to be represented in your community is tethered to capital, is tethered to owning property. And that's not the same as being represented in your community just by living there. So again, I just want to thank all of you for giving us the platform. I would really like to encourage anyone who's hearing this right now to send tenants our way. I don't know if there's a way to share our contact information. We've got Instagram, email, voicemail, SMS service. But if you know a tenant who's a member of our community that is at risk of being displaced, they're not alone. They have allies working and organizing every day in this community that's really committed to preserving the character and spirit of Lincoln Heights as we've come to know and love it, and worked really hard to create what we live in today. So thanks again so much for having us. We're the Lincoln Heights Tenants Union in solidarity with our supportive neighborhood council. And please reach out and put any tenants that are at risk of displacement in touch with their union.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Jesse.
Thank you, Jesse.
Thank you, Jesse.
All right. Awesome. All right. That was very
Fernanda,
good.
if you want to take item A.
Yeah, I'll go ahead. I don't know if that's part of the supplemental documents, but I can share my screen. But before I do that, I just want to share the Lincoln Heights Tenants Union Instagram. That's LA Tenants, L.H.N.C. for their Instagram handle. And again, I want to thank Jesse for your time and for being here, and thank you for all your efforts and everything that the Tenants Union does. I don't see the pamphlet on there, so I can just share the screen. One sec. And this is a pamphlet that I, just created for the housing clinic, and I can edit it to, I would have to edit this QR code eventually because that application is no longer open for the rent relief program. I handed these out at the park. I gave some to some of the council members here to hand out. And I handed this out at the housing clinic, and a lot of people were very interested. On here, we do have the Lincoln Heights Tenant Union phone number. As he mentioned, there's a voicemail service that they have. I also have the Defense Network phone number and the Los Angeles Tenants Union, which is the umbrella union for the Lincoln Heights Tenants Union. And it's just kind of, you know, really basic, encouraging words and some rights. And here I'm gonna change that to just have everyone's contact information as a board member. If, again, like if anyone needs any sort of pamphlet for their committee or anything you want to create, I'm more than happy to help with that too. But this is what the Tenants' Rights Committee has made and spread so far.
Bravo.
There's a beautiful flyer, Fernanda. Thank you so much for doing that.
Thanks.
Thank you, Fernanda. Awesome. All right. So
Let me go back to my screen.
so we would go to, okay, so item 12, this is you, Vince. Budget Committee, announcement of MPG, open call for applicants.
Okay, so we are going to be having our neighborhood purpose grant or grant committee meeting. I don't have the date yet, but I'll get it out to you. It'll be by the middle or end of this month. We would like to receive all the applications to give everybody the opportunity to be able to present their projects at the committee meeting. At the committee meeting, we'll make the decision on which projects are going to be pushed up to our executive that will then make it to the third round, which is our general board for funding. As we heard Jose mention, that our closing dates for these events are coming by pretty fast. So we need to get this money into the right hands for services for the, you know, the people of Lincoln Heights. So again, if you have an MPG, if you have a MPG that you would like to submit and you're a 501c3 nonprofit, you can send it to vincent.L.H.N.C@gmail.com. And we'll put you on the agenda for the grant committee. Now, if you don't make it by the grant committee, the last time to submit your MPG will be at least 2 days before the executive committee, where it will be finally heard. But if you want to make the presentation, you want to make your stance heard on why you think you deserve a grant to help the people of Lincoln Heights, you do have to get the grant in before the committee meeting meets. And we will be accepting the applications for MPG the day of the meeting to submit.
Okay, thank you, Vince. Next, we'll move on to item 13, Rules and Bylaw Committee, Rules and Bylaws Committee. Vince and Ben, or that would be Ben.
I think this item is one that, standing, it's Ben.
It's standing rules. Should we skip it or should we do it?
Skip it.
Okay, we're gonna skip it. We're gonna table it to the next meeting or continue it.
Yes.
Okay, so we'll go to item number 4, Executive Committee. Now, we're gonna table item 14A. Unfortunately, that'll be at the next meeting. Okay, so 14B, announcement of L.H.N.C. vacancies. We have many vacancies. We have 8 vacancies. Business Rep 2025, that is when it ends. Business Rep 2023, that's when it ends. Area 1 Rep at Large 2023. Area 2 Rep Resident 2023. Area 3 Rep at Large 2023. Area 3 Rep Resident 2025. Area 4 Rep Resident 2023. And Area 6 Rep Resident 2023. Madam Secretary and Treasurer, Sir Treasurer, have we received any applications for vacancies?
I have not received any.
Okay.
I have not.
The boundary map and the description of the how to apply or stakeholdership requirements is on our website under our bylaws. And it's also a supporting document on this agenda here on our website. With that, we don't have any applicants. We hope to have some applicants next time. And we'll move to item number 15 then. Non-agenda public comment. Now, this is the final public comment. If there's anybody from the public who has any comment about something, anything on their mind that it's not on the agenda, you have 2 minutes to speak. Please raise your hand or press *9.
I don't see any.
Okay, with that, it's
I'd like to make the motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Hi.
Opposed? Abstentions? No opposed, no abstention. The meeting officially ends at
Oh my
7:50.
God, look at my.
Diana, I'll meet you outside for our fisticuffs right now.
All righty. Bring your
Karina.
kids. I'll use them as bowling balls.
Thank you.
I want to thank everybody for attending, board members and the public. Thank you.
Take care.
Love y'all.
Night.
See you.